It was also difficult because I was bullied like big time as a kid. I was very feminine from like my whole life. And from my very first interactions with kids, I was called sissy, I was called the F word, I was called names. The kids who beat me up were often boys, but everyone made fun of me. Everyone called me names. And from early on, I learned how to put on a brave face even though things weren't always that good.
Today I'll be discussing harassment and discrimination against gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer is also known as the LGBTQ community. According to the Human Sexuality book by Yarber, heterosexual bias, also known as heterosexism or heterocentric behavior, which is widely accepted in society, media, and the family, involves the tendency to see the world in heterosexual terms to ignore or devalue homosexuality. The LGBTQ community is more likely to face prejudice, discrimination, and violence over your white heterosexual man. Types of discrimination include anti-gay prejudice, a strong dislike, fear, or hatred of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people because of their sexual orientation. Homophobia, an irrational or phobic fear of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. Usually these feelings come about from our biased cultural norms of the heterosexual white male. LGBTQ community is often discriminated against in access to housing, employment opportunities, adoption of children, and parental rights. Those experiencing anti-gay prejudice may be harassed, bullied, and become victims of physical violence. 17% of gay and transgender workers report being passed over for a job or fired due to their sexual orientation or gender identity, while 28% received negative performance evaluations or were passed for a promotion because they were gay or transgender. 41% of gay and transgendered workers were verbally or physically abused or had their workplace vandalized. According to the CDC, a 2009 survey reports more than 7,000 LGBT youth from the ages of 13 to 21. 8 out of 10 students have been verbally harassed at school. 4 out of 10 had been physically harassed at school. 6 out of 10 felt unsafe. 1 out of 5 have been a victim of physical assault in school, and LGBT youth are also at increased risk for suicidal thoughts and behaviors and are more than twice likely to attempt suicide as their heterosexual peers. The stresses experienced by LGBT youth put them at greater risk for mental health problems, substance use, and physical health problems. And 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBT and struggle because many shelters turn them away because they are not accepted and respected. According to the Wisconsin's Coalition Against Sexual Assault, sexual violence includes rape, incest, child sexual assault, ritual abuse, stranger rape, date acquaintance rape, partner marital rape, sexual harassment, exposure, and voyeurism. Homophobia puts LGBT people at greater risk for sexual assault. It is common for perpetrators to use sexual violence as a way to punish and humiliate someone for being LGBT. Individuals think that they can change a person's sexual orientation, so they specifically target lesbian and/or bisexual women for sexual. LGBT people face further victimization when dealing with sexual violence perpetrated by an acquaintance, date, or partner. Perpetrators will use homophobia, heterosexism as a weapon to threaten victims by threatening. Victim survivors may fear being forced to come out if they approach their family, the courts, or the police to report a sexual assault. They fear that they are betraying an LGBT community which is already under attack by accusing another LGBT person of sexual assault. Feels that they are exposing their assailant to a homophobic criminal justice system if they pursue a legal situation. Feel that they have nowhere to turn for help and fear hostile responses from the police, courts, service providers, therapists because of homophobia and anti-LGBT bias. Gay, lesbian, and bisexual transgender people are discriminated and harassed in many ways that harm their self-esteem and mental health. We as a society need to educate ourselves on the issue to protect the LGBTQ community. There are many resources out there, including the Movement Advancement Project, aka MAP, an independent think tank focusing on expediting equality for LGBTQ communities. Unequal treatment under the law prevents LGBT Americans from being able to fully participate in American life. For those who are victims of gender identity, sexual orientation discrimination, harassment, and violence, report it.
About myself is awesome because it's just a relief because I don't have to try to be something I'm not. I can just be. who you are authentically is all right. The shame is what kills you. Believing that you are unworthy of love and belonging, that who you are authentically is a sin or is wrong, is deadly. Who you are is beautiful and amazing. It's important with all of the messages that might tell you otherwise, that you have that in yourself to say that I am beautiful, I'm smart, and I'm amazing.